Hi, and welcome to Three Questions with my friend Meredith Church with us from Aflac. Good afternoon, Meredith. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, Meredith, I asked you to come on the show today because I want to talk a little bit about Aflac. In my experience, people often confuse Aflac with health insurance. I'm good. I have health insurance. It's not the same, right?
It's not. So Aflac helps cover the gap. We don't close the gap, but we help cover it between, deductibles and co-pays for unexpected costs. Like if you went to the hospital, you slipped on some ice and you went to the hospital and you can't, you had to go to the hospital and get x-rays or get all that good stuff. You're obviously going to come home with a bill. And when you have Aflac, depending on the plan and the coverage you choose, Aflac will give you money towards that. So it's indemnity insurance, which means instead of having to send the Aflac check to the hospital or your insurance, it goes directly to you.
Nice.
Yeah. So if you can use it towards your hospital bill, you can use it towards mortgage, car payment, whatever. Aflac doesn't care. And that's kind of the way all our policies work. Obviously, there's a lot of different scenarios where Aflac would pay. So yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
I like that, Meredith, because sometimes we forget, the fact that, hey, I missed 3 days of work last week.
Exactly.
That can really cause chaos because like, oh, I didn't work and now I don't have money for my car payment, buy groceries, that
Right.
other stuff that
Right.
others
I
we just
mean,
get.
I don't mean to bring up a negative event, but we all saw last week what happened to Damar Hamlin. And obviously he had no idea when he put on that uniform that he was going to end the night in a hospital. And a lot of people don't think that they're going to have an issue. It's like, well, I'm healthy so far. I've never had an issue. And we all just saw all over the news what happens when you can be perfectly healthy and still have, still be at risk for anything.
So one of the other things that I found interesting about Aflac is the policies are extremely affordable. I was surprised when I learned the cost. I was like, that's all it
They,
costs.
they are. So for example, so like different things. So our accident plan, it ranges around $6 a week, depending on the industry. Some industries are a little bit higher because they're higher risk. But then again, we're not going to cover the entire hospital bill. So if you go to the emergency room, you get $100 back, or crutches is another 100. So again, we're not a service that's going to completely eliminate the gap between the hospital bill and you, but our goal is to make it smaller. And of course, all of our things, and I don't have the costs memorized or anything because they're all in a packet. But for example, for our cancer plan, I think it's around $5 or $6 a week. Our cancer plan will give you $75 benefit for a wellness exam. So that means that if you're a guy, you go get, your prostate exam. If you're a girl, you get a mammogram, automatic $75 back
Yep.
for a wellness benefit. So obviously that's something that everyone could use
Yep.
regardless.
Because I find a lot of people don't even know there's such a thing as cancer insurance. I've heard people mention that and you see everyone going, I didn't know you could get insurance for that, especially if you know it's something you have a concern about. It makes sense to look into that policy.
It is. And one of the best things is, again, nobody likes to think about negative things, but being in the insurance industry, it's kind of my job to think of the worst case scenario. So our cancer policy will cover children up to age 26 for free. And it, like I said, it gives you, I don't have every little detail memorized, but I know for like if you get diagnosed, automatic $5,000 to you, and then ongoing benefits for chemo, radiology, experimental therapy. And cancer is one of, if you're lucky enough to survive cancer, you don't walk away debt free.
Yep. Unfortunately.
And I'm sure you see it all the time with various GoFundMe and stuff like that, because people aren't prepared. And health insurance is great. You might have the best health insurance plan, but no health insurance plan is gonna cover 100% of catastrophic incidences.
Yep. The other nice thing about Aflac is it's a great thing to offer to employees, because it's 100% voluntary. Employees pay for it, right?
Exactly. So one of my favorite things that Aflac does is we do short-term disability, meaning an Aflac person can get up to 50% of their paycheck if they are out of work due to a sickness, a hospital issue, or recovering from post-surgery. So that's something, and again, in an environment where offering your employee benefit a salary isn't enough. If you look at these big company stores, for example, Petco and PetSmart, they offer their employees health insurance, dental, and some companies even offer tuition assistance. As a small business owner, there's no way you could cover the cost of health insurance and dental for all your employees. But by offering Aflac, and maybe depending on your scenario, offering to pay for, maybe 50% of it, you're able to offer employees to come work for your small business a benefit package that doesn't break the bank for you.
That makes sense. So Meredith, what's the best way for people to reach out to you? How can they learn more, my friend?
So they can text me. I mean, my number and email are both on the networking website. So yeah.
Okay. So Meredith, I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to call into the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye now.